Welcome back everyone to the Labyrinth of Touhou 2, and this time we'll be talking about Rumia, the yokai of the dusk. Rumia's base stats are 100 HP, 40 attack, 60 defense, 112 magic, 120 mind, 78 speed, with a base evasion of 32, a base MP of 16, with a growth rate of 1 MP every 16 levels, a base TP of 13, a base HP recovery of 10, a base MP recovery of 2. Her statuses are 10 in poison, heavy, shock, tear, and 50 in paralysis, silence, and death, with a debuff resistance of 100. Elemental affinities are 92 to fire and nature, 112 to cold and wind, 148 to mystic, 192 to dark, and 100 to physical. Her level of difficulty is 52 and her library costs are 43, making her fairly easy to level up, and her library costs are quite excellently small. So, looking at those statuses, let's get some comparison. So, let's compare it to Marissa. She has slightly more HP and defense, but still not enough for it to matter. But what she really lacks is she's slow and hits not as hard. So obviously if Marissa is bad, how bad is Rumia gonna be? Well, let's check her skills and find out. So first off we have Moonlight Ray, a 3 MP attack that hits one enemy for Mystic. It has a 324 magic minus 90% of your opponent's mind, and has a 66% delay rate. When it says this thing has high power, it has high power. This thing, even with Rumia's lower magic, totally obliterates magic missile in terms of every single possible factor. Not to mention, while you do have a bit of MP, more MP on Marissa, this is still, you can get 5 of these off before you run out of MP on Rumia, so you have no need to worry about MP when spamming Moonlight Ray. And keep in mind, this is also Mystic, so Rumia is a better Mystic attacker than Marissa, or at least so far. We'll see. Maybe Marissa's passives will make her better. After all, we know Marissa has some pretty good passives, or a couple of them are half decent, let's be honest. Next up we have Dark Side of the Moon, a spell that attacks all enemies with the dark element and costs 3 MP as well. It takes exactly 100% of your magics, which is honestly really underwhelming, but it ignores all mind. All of it. Its damage ratio is just 100% of your magic. Just look at your magic. Just go to like, oh, your magic that's 94? Yeah, it's going to do 494 damage. They're just flat out. Yep. No mind calculations necessary. There is variance like always, but it's going to do somewhere around 100% of your magic. So, lastly, we have a 6-cost healing spell. Demarcation? Her signature spell. Of course, this targets all allies with Dark Element, and it is a healing spell that also reduces debuffs slightly. Don't know how much, but its healing is based off 33% of your magic and has 40 delay. I mentioned this at 60 delay, right? So overall, those are some absolutely amazing stuff. You focus purely on your magic and you get a massive healing spell and some really good attacking spells. The best that we've seen so far out of all the characters we've done, like what, 6 or 7 or 5? These are definitely the best active spells, the best spell cards. Plus you get some magic boost, a speed boost, and a boost to elemental affinities, which as we saw, were all at least good with the exception of Spirit, but absolutely amazing in terms of Dark and fairly good in terms of Mystic. She also, of course, like all characters, has Motivated Heart and Hands-on Experience, as well as her special abilities are Team 9. If you have any of Rumia, Cherno, Wriggle, or Misty on the front line, you get skill level times 8 stats up per person, excluding the user. This effect does not occur until an ally enemy gets a turn. So if you have one of them, you get 8. If you have 2 of them, you get 16, if you have all three of them, you get 24 stats up to all stats. I believe this is a base, yeah, the team ones are all base stat ups. These are not buffs. So they work synergistically with other buffing spells. Like, enchanters will not have to worry about the, gain bad synergies with this. So, next up, Realm of Eternal Darkness. When the use on the front line, dark damage taken is reduced. The effect is applied to all frontliners. Yokai's Knowledge. While the use is on the front line, damage against humanoid enemies increases. First line attack with similar effects. Piercing Attack. When the user attacks the enemy with very high defenses, some of the damage will pass through and ignore part of the enemy's defense. I don't believe we know how much. Yeah, we do not know how much. So, lastly, we have ability Manipulate Darkness. Lowers the rate at which encounter rate occurs by skill level times 12, so that's 12 or 14%. The effect stacks with other skills, but maximum of 75% encounter reduction. So, after looking at the stats, you seem like, oh, Rumia is really bad, look at how terrible all her stats are. But then you look at those active spells and you're like, wow, those are some really powerful spells, and you look at her abilities and you're like, well, we'll talk about how good Wriggle is. Cherno, spoiler alert, Cherno's bad. Cherno's really bad. And spoiler alert, Misty is kind of underwhelming too. Talk about how good Wriggle is, but you might be able to get something out of this. Piercing attack, why the heck? You have something that pierces 100%, why go for piercing attack? So, it's pretty bad, this isn't useful in battle, so we only have these two. Yokai's Knowledge is okay. There's some boss battles where it's actually fairly useful. But there's a lot where it's not. Realm of Eternal Darkness, on the other hand, is one of the best abilities in the game. Well, I'd say it's probably an A tier ability. Like, you're gonna see some, like, SSSS plus, like, abilities, like Maintenance, and this is definitely nowhere on par with any of them. But some elemental resistance up on all characters in the front line is very useful against enemies that like spamming a certain element to attack. Dark will be seeing a lot of throughout the game, and especially later in the game, since normally towards the end you got like big evil baddies, and they all use dark stuff. So this is very helpful. Even early game we'll be seeing a lot of dark damage that you want to reduce. Combined with her 120 mind means that not only does she have great attacking abilities, 120 mind, not only does she have great attacking abilities, but she also has some good defensive abilities as well. And so she's very flexible in that. However, overall, I can't really say if I'd rather run her attacking or a bulky, because while if you look at her status, I do have her completely full of magic. I did put 40 into defense and mind as well, as well as 10 into HP. Though to be honest, I should put more in. I mean, she's great against debuffers since she has the best debuff resistance in the entire game, being nearly immune to them, meaning that she fits in the debuff teams as well. She has decent death resistance as well, so that means that she doesn't have to worry about dying to instant death, making her slightly better as a tank. Overall, I've used her in so many teams. Almost every boss fight, well, not everyone, but a large amount of boss fights I will have Rumia on my team. She just provides consistent dark and mystic damage better than most characters in the game, since it has the ability to pierce all enemies' defenses, which as the game goes on, the enemy's defenses will increase more and more, meaning that it becomes more and more effective, and by the end of the game, Rumia will be dealing a lot more damage than pretty much any other character in the game, just because she ignores the enemy's defense, despite having a low magic stat, and having one of the weakest spells in the game. Just not factoring in opponent's defense makes a weak spell become one of the strongest. Trust me, Dark Side of the Moon will be one of the strongest spells in the game. Just take my word for it. So, how do we run her? Well, like I mentioned, Rumia is one of the most versatile characters in the game. I wouldn't run her Guardian since she does not have any natural healing, and while I did mention that she's tanky, she more prefers a supportive role with her healing spell. Monk, again, is more of a physical sort of warrior guardian hybrid with some unique attributes to it. but mostly it's for a piercing spell that you get as a subclass spell. The Iron Mountain Charge that ignores enemies' defense. But since you already have a piercing spell, this class is useless. Yeah, Rumia's attack is way too low to even consider this. Early game, you'll definitely want Sorcerer. She takes a lot of, she really enjoys magic increasing to make up for bad stuff. And so, you can actually deal quite a bit of damage with this early game. And you'll find that she's a fairly good mage. Next up is Healer. This isn't the worst on her since she has a healing spell, but I still don't recommend it since the healing spell scales with magic. Just going straight into magic will help quite a bit. She has no enchantments, no debuffs, and no status ailments. As a magician, she's not the worst. Her MP is not too bad and she can give it out fairly easily. She works not too bad as a supporter overall, especially with her healing ability, so adding a little bit of extra support isn't the worst, since really besides her heal she doesn't have any more support abilities, which is the same with Herbalist. You can again run her for the Darkness aura, run her for her High Mind, run her for the damage up versus humanoids, and you don't have to run her for attacking skills at all, and then you could just have her spam heal and Herbalist buffs. So not bad. Same with Strategist. With Strategist though, you can actually both be a tank and deal damage. This is probably one of her best subclasses, as you can take advantage of both your tankiness and your damage, as well as both your dark debuff, like your dark resistance up on all your allies, along with the other resistance ups of the Strategist buffs and the fact that you're going to have a heal to keep yourself healthy and probably not die, as well as it increases your own damage so you can deal back a lot of damage. Overall, it's really great. Gambler is also another good one on her. Since she deals a lot of damage and pierces through, why not just double that? And so again, most of the time you're doubling your attack means that you're just going to run into more problems with the opponent's defenses, but with ignoring opponent's defenses, that makes having extra damage done, percentage extra damage done, really good. And she has such low MP cost on all her abilities, her attacking abilities, that you don't really have to worry about the MP up, as well as the fact that while you do miss your tankiness a little bit, if you're running her full damage, you're not going to be getting too much tankiness out of her anyways. It's mostly only if you run her sort of a hybrid. Diva's Diva. Though it actually does have a little bit of synergy since, as I mentioned, she has the anti-encounter rate ability, so there's a little bit of synergy. And then lastly, Transcendent. Sadly, Rumia only really cares about a couple of these stats, so she doesn't get as much out of it as, say, Strategist or Gambler. But overall, it's still a slight damage up, without the downsides of Gambler, and maybe even a little bit more better than Strategist, though I still think Strategist probably gives you better tankiness and better damage up. So overall, looking at Rumia, those stats look really bad, and just because of the fact that it's Rumia and everyone makes fun of Rumia and how weak Rumia is, you would expect Rumia would be bad. But looking at it, I'm going to say, Reimu, let's go over these again. S tier, C tier, F tier, borderline 1, borderline 3, borderline 2, C tier, and Rumia is, drumroll please, S tier. You probably saw it coming with how much I praised her in this video, but I'm serious, yeah, she is amazing. I use her all the time and she's just so good. I'm sure there's people out there laughing like, wow, she doesn't do any damage, look how bad her magic stat is, why would you invest in her? Trust me, her piercing attacks are really good, and that Mystic spell does a lot of damage. Healing with that much healing is actually not bad. Plus, like I said, she's versatile. She can be used as a tank with that dark damage, the dark element resistance up. And so you can just run her as so many different things, and she's just so useful in so many different situations. And that's the biggest thing in this tier list. How much can you use them? If I only use someone for one battle, but they're the best character for that battle, does that mean they're the best character in the game? No. If they're only used in one battle in the entire game, they're bad. So, that's how I'm doing it. Rumia is used in lots of battles, and she gets good use out of so many different things, and so Rumia is S tier. Next time, we'll be going over another member of Team 9, the beloved Baka 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 that everyone loves. Cherno. Until then, see ya.